Welcome and hello from Alex, with a story from r/entitled Parents, where a daughter grapples with her mother's relentless susceptibility to online scams, leading to financial ruin and emotional strain. Coming up next is a story from NoStrangerToTheRain. Mom got scammed again and now I am done. I have posted here before, so maybe this is an update of sorts. My 68-year-old mother is losing her mind. Has been for a while now. We knew she had been conversing with several people online for over a year, most of which claimed to be famous men and all of which needed money for various things. We had been telling her since December that she was being scammed. Tried involving DHR and the agency who helps protect seniors, all falling on deaf ears. Courts won't do anything without a medical diagnosis. Neurologist appointments take months, so we're just stuck trying to keep her from self-destructing until then. End of February, she finally admits she needs help. Actually, she called my brother and said she was broke and he needed to fix it, but we'll say that was asking for help. For the bank. Her home was a few hours from going into foreclosure on the day we got the call from her, and her utilities were turned off the very next week. She has over $100K in credit card debt, most of it from sending these men pictures of every single credit card she has. She also gave them all of her bank account information and sent at least $30K in cash via Bitcoin ATMs or prepaid gift cards. I am not sure I'll ever know exactly what she has spent on them, but I do know she owes $7K in taxes this year from all the withdrawals she made to her retirement, which she freely admits she sent to these men. She also still swears every one of them are actually all the celebrities they claim to be, and still truly believes one of them is the love of her life. My brother and I told her the only way we'd help is if she gave us power of attorney, which she did. We then caught up her house payments and reconnected the utilities. I have been going through her bills as I pay all of them and trying to help her budget, including finding her cheaper internet, TV and cell phone plans so she'll be able to pay her own bills going forward on her fixed income. She has been beyond nasty to me every step of the way, telling me what a disappointment I am and she wishes I was never born. There have been suicide threats, to which she laughed in my face and told the police she would never do anything that dramatic. She calls me almost daily and tells me she fell, only for myself or the ambulance to rush over and have her admit she wasn't actually hurt but was hoping a trip to the emergency room would get her pain meds. I took her phone, created a new Apple ID and had it set so she couldn't text or call anyone not saved in her contacts, and she can't add people or numbers or apps without my approval. Only thing short of changing her number I could do to stop her contact with these scammers. She adamantly refused to change the number because she's had that one for 30+ years. But she has still been getting hundreds of texts from 6-digit numbers. I am guessing because she responded to them in the past, so they were able to get around the block. I have told her 1,000 times not to even open them, delete them or send them to junk. She had hip replacement surgery this past week. While in the hospital, she received a text telling her she won a free oxygen machine. Call this number to claim your prize. She texts me and tells me she needs to add this number to her phone because it's a home health medical equipment company, and she wants to talk to them about Life Alert, so I add their number. She calls and they tell her she just needs to give them her bank account information to cover the shipping ... and she gives it to them. Then she calls to crow about her winnings. I call the same number. And what do you know, I am also an instant winner if I will just give them my bank account information. Hit 0 to speak with a person and now I've won a free year of DirecTV. Hit 0 again and now I've won a free year of pest control from Terminix if I just enter my bank account information. So a total scam that my mother has again fallen for while laying in her hospital bed recovering from surgery. Like the last 2 months didn't happen, like she has learned nothing from this whole experience. She does not even need an oxygen machine, but decided that since her parents had breathing issues at the end of their lives and because it was free, this opportunity was too good to pass up in case she needs one later. She tells me to just call them back and cancel, because I am sure the kind phone scammers will totally forget your bank account if I just ask nicely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, she has been showing signs of progressive dementia and is at moderately severe cognitive decline on the staging models. So I get it, this is the new normal for her. She no longer possesses the mental capacity to understand real from fake, and she will continue to fall for stuff like this as long as she's alive. And I can't do anything to stop it. I can just crawl along behind her and try to fix it while hoping she shows up to the neuro in May so I can get the courts to intervene. She will always be a danger to herself and her own well-being, with the added bonus of being awful to me every step of the way. So I have decided I am done trying to save her from herself. I am opening another new bank account for her tomorrow and putting what little money she still has in it. I have turned off all the automatic payments that have been coming out of my account and will be turning off all of the parental controls I had established on her electronics. Then I am telling her good luck, don't call me when you're on fire again. And then I am blocking her on my phone. my brother, and I believe she'll be in a mess again by the 4th of July. Her problem, not ours. I have had a heart issue for 2 years now, inappropriate sinus tachycardia that isn't responding to medications. Both of my cardiologists have told me that stress is exacerbating my condition. I've lost 25 pounds over the last 3 months, which I am also chalking up to stress. I literally cannot explain the peace I feel in my soul tonight knowing that I have done everything I could for this woman and now I just get to be done tomorrow. It's complicated and sad and frustrating, because oh how I have tried to help her and I know how this will end. But it's also so very calming to know that I am done. I am free. That whole situation with your mom sounds absolutely draining. It's incredible that you've been shouldering this burden for so long, especially with your own health issues on top of it. Honestly, reaching your limit is completely understandable. Here's the thing, you've done more than most people would in your situation. Trying to get power of attorney, managing her finances, even the phone restrictions, you've exhausted all reasonable options. The fact that she continues to be nasty to you throughout all this is just the icing on a very rotten cake. Taking a step back to protect your own well-being isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and it sounds like your cup has been running on fumes for a while now. Focusing on your own health and sanity is the smartest thing you can do. It might be a good idea to talk to a lawyer about what legal options you might have moving forward, especially with the dementia diagnosis on the horizon. But in the meantime, prioritizing your own peace is absolutely the right call. Coming up next is a story from LyraLovesYourMother. My dad left me over text. So for reference, my female 15, dad, male 54, messaged me today saying bye forever with no reasoning except that I don't speak to him. I do actually speak to him, but not very often, but as he constantly states I am just a child and therefore L shouldn't be expected to reach out as he is the parent. Yet he expects me to, and if you knew him you would know he wanted some big reaction out of him saying bye forever. My parents split up when I was 4 and the court ruled for me to live at my mom's due to my dad's abusive nature. However, when he went through therapy I started to visit more often after having to have supervised visits in a specific location. While I do love my dad and it did hurt that he had done this, I think it was for the better as he constantly calls me fat, I am underweight, is verbally abusive, and even threatened to stab me. I am just confused that he expected me to beg for him to not leave my life when he treats me like this. He only fought for me in a court case because my older sister, his favorite, said she would leave if he didn't, yet he wants me to do it for him. I'm sorry if this doesn't fit with the subreddit, but I think this entitled. I'd love to hear people's opinions on the situation. Later Opie actually posted an update on the story. So today my dad called me as school had called him saying I hadn't attended SATI intervention 2 days ago. My mom has asked them multiple times telling them not to contact him. When he called he asked me why I had not attended, and stated I was unaware of the fact that I had it as I hadn't been in the classes I was working on a different GCSE. He carried on questioning me and I then said what happened to abandoning me, which then caused him to shout, therefore I hung up. He then messaged me stating he was canceling my phone contract. This is being sorted by my mom, so no need to worry about that. I'm just shocked by the fact that someone who had abandoned me decided to come back into my life just to hurt me. Not only this, but the cancellation fee is £169.86. So he is also spending money to do this. Not really seeking advice on this one, just needed to get it out of my system. I'm going to tell all my teachers to not call, message him. A few already know, but I will make sure everyone remembers. Wow, that whole situation with your dad sounds messed up. It's clear you've been through a lot with him, from the court stuff to the verbal abuse. Honestly, good for you for staying strong. Here's the thing, you don't owe him anything, especially a big reaction to his manipulative texts. It sounds like he might be trying to get a rise out of you, and good on you for not giving him the satisfaction. The phone contract thing is just another layer of crazy. It seems like he can't stand the thought of you not needing him, even though his behavior pushes you away. Maybe talking to your mom about getting your number switched so he can't contact you anymore would be a good idea. This might not be the easiest thing to hear, but focusing on yourself and your own well-being is the most important thing. You deserve to be around people who treat you with respect. Maybe talking to a school counselor or therapist could help you process everything and develop some coping mechanisms. Coming up next is a story from proAMR, and if you like the video so far, don't forget to like the video. It only takes a second and helps me out a lot. My mom stole $4,000 from me. My mom and I just had a disagreement. She has severe anger issues and have lashed out in the past. I had left an expensive headset on a chair, which she was unhappy with. She grabbed said headset and smashed it on the ground in front of me. Reasoning was unknown, but keep in mind, she has mental problems. She left and went to another room, where I followed her and demanded the $150 to replace it. She refused, smashing them, and said that it was her house and she could do what she felt like. I continued to demand the money when she said I was entitled and opened my bank account, which she has access to, and transferred $4,000 out to her account, saying she deserved it for all the crap I've put her through. What do I even do in this situation? That sounds terrifying. Your mom's behavior is way out of line. Stealing $4,000 is a crime. And on top of that, destroying your property is just plain disrespectful. Honestly, this is a situation that's bigger than you can handle alone. Given the severity of her anger issues and the financial theft, it might be best to get the authorities involved. They can help you press charges for the stolen money and maybe even connect you with resources to deal with your mom's behavior. In the meantime, I wouldn't recommend being alone with her. Stay with a friend or family member you trust, and definitely don't let her near your bank account anymore. This is a tough situation, but you don't deserve to be treated this way. There are people who can help. Coming up next is a story from hbpfrost. It's a free sample, ma'am. Hi, I've been seeing some things in this sub and decided to post about someone else because if I posted about my own parents, I'd be here for weeks. Just for a bit of background, I work at a fairly popular restaurant in my city. It's one where we cook food on a flat-top grill at the bar, and I am pretty damn good at it. Part of what we do is if a child wants to order an adult meal but isn't sure if they can finish it, we offer a sample size of that meal for free. Sometimes parents let their kids try something from the adult menu, and it's perfectly fine. Then came Monday this week when I had just walked in. There was a mother, the entitled one, her daughter, and her husband. It's only 11:30, so I think okay. Early lunch, they're probably not that hungry, and the mother and father both ask for something simple. But the daughter wants a steak. The mother says, "No, sweetie, you won't finish it and I know you'll throw it away." That's when the father points out the sample serving and I say, "Yeah, that's something easy I can make. Plus it's free." The mother gets this really sour look on her face and says, "I don't care how low the price is. I just know she'll end up throwing it away." I pause for a moment and decide that I could maybe nudge her to getting it for her daughter since both the kid and husband were so adamant about getting it. The rest of the conversation goes as follows. Entitled mother: "Why can't you just accept the fact that I said no?" Female: "Hun, it's free, and if she doesn't like it, there's no harm in not finishing it." Entitled mother: "I don't care. I said no. You should understand that as your wife, if I say jump, you ask how high." Me: "Ma'am, there is no need to get this upset over a free 5 Oz steak that you aren't even ordering." Entitled mother, as loud as possible: "Shut the fuck up. I will not tolerate some brat lecturing me on what to do." At this point, we've been arguing about the damn free steak for almost 30 minutes. That's when I put my foot down and said, "If you don't stop, my manager will have to get involved," to which I was hit with a big fat "shut the fuck up" as she grabbed her daughter's hand and ran out of the restaurant. The dad paid me $50. Keep in mind they only ordered drinks which totaled to around $10 and chased after his wife. I didn't see them the rest of the day. Wow, that woman sounds like a whole other level of hangry. Free food argument for 30 minutes. Who does that? Good on you for staying calm though, even when she started yelling. It sounds like you handled a super difficult situation really well. Honestly, I can't imagine what could have prevented that meltdown. Maybe if the dad had put his foot down earlier. But that whole jump and ask how high comment doesn't exactly scream backbone. The good news is, you got a nice tip out of it and hopefully they learned a valuable lesson about public meltdowns. Free food or not, nobody deserves that kind of treatment. Maybe next time they'll be a little more receptive to trying something new. Coming up next is a story from SugarFix1993. Mother accusing me of ruining her vacation. I am so tired of constantly being unable to express my concerns to my mother without her crying, guilt-tripping me, or giving me the silent treatment. Basically, I live abroad and my mom asked if she and my cousin could come visit me this summer. I told her absolutely that I could take 1 week off of work, maybe even 8 days, to host her and my cousin and show them a good time around my city. I live with my partner and he was even willing to stay at his parents' house for the 7-8 days because he is a remote worker and we only live in a very small 1-bedroom apartment. Eventually my mom buys her flight tickets and she has booked for 16 days. Mind you, me and my mother are often very opposite. She is impulsive, emotional, moody, and very anxious. I am a very type of person and I was very much parentified growing up by her. I was obviously upset because I did not sign up for her to stay 16 days. That's insane. I told her that she absolutely had to book a hotel for the second week because I can't ask my partner to be away from our home for that long and I don't have that much time off of work. Ever since she told me she bought a flight to visit for 16 days, I have been annoyed. I find it stressful when family visits even for just a week because I start to feel like a camp counselor. It just overwhelms me to try and make sure everyone is having a good time, having things planned every day, being out of my normal routine. But for 1 week I can handle it. 16 days is a whole other story. Anyway, I tried to have an honest conversation with her and tell her I think she should shorten her trip. She has a changeable flight. I feel like she isn't going to be comfortable traveling around this big city without me guiding her because she is already very anxious naturally. Also, I live in a very expensive city and I think she will struggle financially to pay for a hotel for an entire week. Also, my cousin is a bit of an airhead, so I don't really think she'll be much help. Of course, I try talking to her calmly and she starts crying and accusing me of ruining her vacation, that I am so hard-headed and don't listen, that she never gets to do anything and I am ruining it for her, and that now she doesn't even want to come because I am not being welcoming, etc., etc., etc. I just can't handle this. I find it so hard to have a conversation with her when she starts manipulating me. I know my mother. She is not this adventurous, easygoing person on vacation. And now I will have the emotional burden of worrying about her and my cousin for the week I can't spend with them because neither one of them are very capable. Am I being unreasonable here? Ugh, that sounds like a total nightmare. 16 days is a recipe for disaster, especially with how you described your mom. Here's the thing, you absolutely offered a perfectly reasonable solution. A week is more than generous, especially considering you have a small apartment and a partner to think about. It's classic manipulation to turn the tables and make you feel like the bad guy. Sticking to your boundaries is key here. Maybe you can reframe the conversation. Explain you want them to have a great visit, and a hotel for the second week would be the best way to ensure everyone is comfortable and enjoys their time. Honestly, though, it might take some tough love. If she keeps up the dramatics, you might have to remind her it's her vacation, and she can choose to adjust her plans or not come at all. It's a tough situation, but you deserve to have your boundaries respected, even by family. That wraps up r/EntitledParents. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to visit my Spotify channel, link is in the description, so you can listen to the best Reddit story while being outside, and remember to hit that subscribe button.